everybody wanted to know what happened here. Play this clip, Rob. I don't know if you've seen this or not. Maybe you can lower the audio a little bit, Rob. Increase it a little bit. This went viral. Everybody got an envelope. President Carter, that's Hillary, Bill. Jeb gets the same envelope. Mom shows it to him. Look at Jeb's reaction and her reaction. Her reaction.
And refresh my memory, was this at John McCain's funeral? Whose funeral?
George
This is
H.W.
Senior.
George
Senior's
H.W.
funeral.
Oh, okay.
What is this envelope? Do you know anything about
I have
it?
no idea. I have no idea.
What would typically be an envelope like this where you're giving for Jeb to react the way he did for his wife?
Well, I mean, my first thought is, if I remember correctly, President Trump did not attend, or did he?
He did, but he didn't get an
I
envelope.
believe he ended up having to leave early for something. So
Yeah.
he did not get an envelope, but he was in attendance at the funeral.
Okay. I don't know. My first inclination was something about Trump, but I have no idea. What's your guess?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about, if you buy into the idea that there's establishment, anti-establishment, okay, it's fair to say Clinton, Obama, Bush, Biden, that's all establishment, right? They've been around for a while. Prescott, Senior, GW.
But did Cheney get one too? I saw Dick Cheney there. Did he get one? Do you know?
I didn't see. I couldn't.
Okay.
tell.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then Obama doesn't have a big reaction. They're pros. Hillary Clinton, not big reaction. You know, you're seeing some of this stuff. Jeb's reaction, big reaction.
Yeah.
I just wonder, like, you know, who gave the envelope? Do we know who gave the envelope to everybody? Because even Obama's got the envelope. You know what happens if you're receiving the envelope? If you're receiving the envelope, you're not the leader. If you're a handler, it's kind of like, you know, when they say, you know, hey, I just got a $250,000 check for doing XYZ. And then people say, yeah, I want to know who cut the check.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
who cut the
sure.
check? Oh, the guy that cut the check is the guy I want to know, right?
Yeah.
Who's handing the envelopes over? It's got to be someone's assistant that's relaying a message. So who would that? Who's more powerful than
And
those
this is
guys?
in the church service.
This is in the church service
at the funeral.
Is it kind of like it almost looks like, hey kids, this is your allowance. Man, I wish my allowance was bigger. What is this? That sucks. I want a bigger allowance than this, right? It's not like it's a love letter. And it's, by the way, if you go back to the clip with the white envelope, it's not a letter and it's not a paragraph. Go to Jeb. Look how long it takes for Jeb to
it's very
realize
quick.
what's in the envelope. It didn't take 7 seconds. Press play. Count the seconds. She reacts. He sees. That's half a second. So half a second is what? A number? A half a second reaction to something can only be if it's a... And then it's got to be small enough so the people behind you don't see. Maybe it says, you know, there is no bone and ribeye for dinner tonight. Right, Rob? Maybe it's just chicken only. It's like, Jeb is like, are you kidding me, Mom? I need more options than chicken.
Yeah.
I like steak. Maybe he's like a vegetarian. He's upset that there's no vegetarian option on the menu. It can be that innocent. Let's not go deeper here,
It was
Jim.
almost
So-
like a disgusting look, though. So it wasn't.
Well, some people don't like chicken,
Yeah,
right?
but it wasn't a disappointed look. It was a disgusted look.
that's a good point.
From both.
So you're saying it's more like caviar, like he just doesn't like, because some people are disgusted by caviar.
From Mrs. Bush and
Play it again, Rob, just that one clip. Look at Jeb. He looks like he needs to go to the bathroom. Press it again. Look at that. Wow.
Yeah, that's.
Can you speculate? Even somebody, I'm surprised you've never seen this.
Yeah, I have. I have, and I'm actually kind of surprised I haven't too.
Have you?
Now, is this all continuous or is it spliced? Is it like, you know, that whatever number of seconds? that's how it happened.
That's how the video, this video that's been viral and a lot of people have shared it and talked about it. Everybody wants to know what's in the white envelope.
Yeah.
It's only been seen in this pattern of sequencing of clips. Now, somebody may have edited and put it together. Who knows? But it is all from the event of George Bush Sr.'s funeral.
Yeah.
And it's not like, for one part of it, I'm like, okay, maybe who's speaking tonight? You would have known who's already speaking, so it's not speaking.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a meeting later on today. Maybe it's Trump left. Trump won't be here. He left. He's not here.
Yeah.
He's doing this. He said this. What is it?
Well, that was my first thought.
Right.
Because, there's obviously no love lost between President Trump and Jeb Bush. I mean, back during the campaign.
What did Trump say? He says, "Oh, you're really tough, Jeff. Yeah, you're really tough." Well, let me get this straight. I started off all the way on the end. Now I'm over here. You're at 3%. I'm at 41%. And soon you're going to be off the stage here, right? That's the whole he's tough exchange that they had.
Yeah. Well, and he called him low energy, all the time.
He wasn't lying, though. I mean,
I know.
There's a difference between being a president and a governor, right? Is this the clip, Rob?
I'm looking. I'm not sure.
I don't think this is it. I think there's a different one. You'll find it may be, but I don't know if that's the one or not. Are you still thinking about that white envelope? Is that kind of where you're still going?
It's like that's unbelievable. I'm curious because it is a disgusted look. It looks like from Jeb Bush.
Have you ever been at events where you've gotten a white envelope and you're like, "Holy shit, what is this?"
I have not.
Yeah,
I have not. Yeah.
I don't know.
But how about President Trump? You made me think when you showed that picture of him on the debate stage back in 2015. He comes to that. I've told him this. I said, "You fundamentally changed American politics." So the first debate was 2015 in Cleveland, because you remember the 2016 convention was in Cleveland, and I remember that day. I told Paul, I said, "Come with me today. We're doing some stops in our district, in the northern part of our district." I said, "We'll go on up to Cleveland, and we'll watch the debate." And so she came with me, and if you remember, there was always the junior varsity debate, right? And then there was the varsity debate.
I remember that. Yeah, of course.
And Trump was always center stage varsity debate because he was leading in the polls. And and if you remember, the first question from Megyn Kelly,
of course,
was
Rosie O'Donnell. You've called women this, that. That's not true. Only Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah. And when I talked to the president about this, I said, "You fundamentally changed politics." This is what my boys tell me. He says, "Dad, he changed politics because everyone else would have answered it with, well, I was taken out of context, and they'd have yabba dabba dooed it." And he just leaned in and gave the response he did. And what was amazing in the arena, everybody laughed. Every guy laughed. Every lady laughed. Everybody, because my wife was sitting beside me, she was laughing like everyone.
Oh, you were in the room.
Yeah, we were in there when he did. And then of course the other thing he did, when I was telling this story about how he changed politics, literally in the first debate, he goes, "Yeah, but that wasn't the best part of the debate." I go, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, the best part of the debate was," he goes, "later," he says, "if you remember, Megyn Kelly asked, how many of you will pledge to support the Republican nominee? Whoever wins, how many of you will pledge to support? Raise your hand."
He didn't raise his hand.
And he didn't raise his hand. And she looks at him, she goes, "Well, Mr. Trump, you didn't raise your hand." And he gave a totally American common sense answer, right? He goes, kind of looks both ways, goes, "Depends on who it is," right? And which is exactly where Americans are. Depends on who it is. And since that time, it's been, Trump's dominated the party and I think dominated politics for, 10 years now.
Which one? Is this the clip, Rob?
Yes, I'm just having internet issues. Let's see.
Let's see if it. Okay, if it doesn't play, it's totally fine. So, yeah, I mean, look, for us that we're on the outside and we just kind of watch this stuff taking place, you sit there and you wonder, who really are these power players? Who really are these guys that have the influence behind closed doors? Who's telling these guys what to do?
You're going to think I'm crazy when I tell you this, but the last 13 and a half years, I've been working on my first fiction book to write, ever. Fiction book to write. And while I finished this book, a year ago, I got the strangest phone call about one of the characters in the book where the guy wanted to meet with me and he read the book. And afterwards, it's like, wait a minute, am I the villain in the book? This is a story about a character named Asher, who is half Armenian, half Assyrian, whose father was involved in the Iranian Revolution, linked to Savak working with the Shah, that they escape and he gets recruited to a secret society. When you go to the secret society, it's been around for a couple thousand years. They've developed some of the craziest leaders of all time. And they test you. There's unique tests that they have at the society where they test to see your emotional mental toughness. One of the tests that they have is very rigorous. It's purely mental. Of course, there's a physical one, but one is mental and emotional. If you're Armenian, if you're Syrian, if you're Persian, this is a book you're going to be reading and saying, holy moly, this is the kind of stuff you talk about in here? Yes. If you're somebody that's fascinated by history, this is a book for you. Characters. There's a technology that this society, secret society, builds where you go into a vault. I won't spoil it for you. When you go down, they have a technology where you get to sit down and watch and have a 3-4 hour conversation with Tupac. You can set up a debate between Karl Marx and Ayn Rand. Karl Marx is in the book, who wrote Communist Manifesto. Ayn Rand, who wrote Atlas Shrugged, is in the book. Marilyn Monroe explains the concept of seduction and sex in the book. When you read the book, it's about development of the next leaders in the world and how they do it and how they've been doing it for many years. And it's also about how to prevent the end of civilization and how this organization goes about doing it. So, I've never written a parenting book before, but if I ever wrote a parenting book, this is the closest thing to it because it's all mindset, a lot of crazy stories. Again, 13 and a half years. Trust me, I told myself I will not publish this book until I sell my insurance company and I'm fully disconnected from it, where it's no longer my responsibility 100%. When you read this, if you're a creative person, if you like fiction books, if you enjoyed Atlas Shrugged, or if you enjoy Divergent, if you like books like that, I think you're gonna enjoy reading this book. It's the creative side. Business books is very easy. Here's how you do it. Here's how this how it works. This is very creative. If you haven't placed the order yet, now you can order it on Simon & Schuster, Amazon. I'm gonna put the link up below somewhere here, maybe even in my profile. Go order the book and read it. I've never written a book where I can't wait to read your reviews to see what you think about this book. So I'm going on this wild journey and we have some plans with this book here. If you support the things that I work on, I would appreciate you going and reading the book, order the book on Amazon, and then post a review. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.